using it like the personal trainer model. So certainly you can go to YouTube and learn how to curl and whatever. But if you book that personal trainer at 7 a.m., then you need to be there at the gym because you booked the appointment. Right. That's what you're saying. Right. Even if that guy really it doesn't really know like how to lift weights or whatever, it's the accountability.
Hey Dennis, can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
All right, turn that. We're having some technical difficulties right now. We're streaming from a cell phone. Our internet just went down. So one of my marketing managers was going to grab our CTO and try to figure out what the heck is going on. So it was like 3 minutes before our call started.
Yeah,
so
no worries.
What can go wrong will.
Hey, I'm in Dallas often. I was just in Dallas 2 days ago.
Oh, were you?
Yep.
Where are you located now?
Well, today I'm filming in one of our mobile studios in Phoenix, and I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. And I fly around a lot. And I'm back in Dallas November 8th or 9th or something like that. If you're around, we could do it in person then if you want.
Yeah, I would love for you to come
That's
on by the
even
office.
Better than this. Yeah,
come by the office. We'd love to have you by.
Yeah, look, I was at SMU a couple days ago because I'm an SMU alum. And
are you really?
Yeah, I was a D1 athlete. I ran track and field and cross country the last year, I guess, that we had it before the whole Title IX thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, okay, I'll show you some. Yeah, so here I was at the high level offices. So they're a big software company. So I'm touring there, and it's kind of hard to see.
It's blurring out a little.
I'm with their people that are there. And then I'll show you. Then I went to SMU, and this is the head of the Human Performance Lab.
Wow.
And we went out onto this. Here, I'll show you. Here's the weight room. It's craziness. And then you can see that, right? All these like huge football players.
Yeah.
They're just gigantic, these people. I don't know how they're even. And then we walk out, it's connected to the stadium. So then we walk out onto the field here. You can see like we're just walking around, kind of neat. Then we go to the practice facility, which is what used to be, I guess it was the pool when I was there. And then there's the Moody Coliseum, basketball and volleyball.
Yeah. Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in LA, but I've been everywhere. Yeah. My undergrad was in Dallas. I lived in Dallas for 8 years. And I also built the website for American Airlines back in 1997. So that's how I got, yeah. Al Casey was my mentor. So he was a CEO. He was the one who brought in Robert Crandall.
Oh, wow.
Then I went to Yahoo.
Was your mentor?
Yeah.
Very cool. What'd you do at Yahoo?
A lot. What's that?
What'd you do at Yahoo?
I built the analytics at Yahoo.
Very cool.
I was one of the first people at Yahoo.
Very cool. That's awesome, man. That's incredible. What a journey.
Yeah. And now
that's neat.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And now what?
Now I get to hang out with cool professionals like you. And I was on Tom Ferry's podcast.
Oh, very cool.
That was just here. Let me show you real quick. Let me share my screen. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to show you. I've been looking you up. You can see I'm looking at all your stuff. So let me show you this one thing. I think you'll appreciate this, and it'll make for a better podcast when we get together. So actually, the URL just showed up there. So Tom reached out to me because of Jason Pantana. We've been friends for a long time.
Okay.
So we did this master class in digital marketing. Can you see this?
Yeah.
And we go through all the stuff on digital marketing.
Yeah.
Right. You can see all this different. So this is pretty cool. So like, check this out. So for this YouTube video,
they just want to put a minimum bar there.
It's cool, man.
This thing's an hour and a half.
Plus you have to pre-fund your account on TikTok.
So we're talking about all the different things, Google My Business and reviews and all that kind of stuff. And then look at these comments here. These comments are ridiculous.
Congratulations. Right? I know when you put out content, it's one of those things you like want it to hit home for people. And look at this, man. Congrats.
Look at what they're saying here, right? Aren't these people awesome?
This is amazing. Good job, man.
Now, were you a dentist before you did?
No, it's the camera and the lights. We have lighting and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to see something ridiculous that no one else on the planet's seen yet?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to, man.
Okay. Do you follow boxing? Or
a little bit.
You know who Jake Paul is?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Okay.
Can you hit the share screen button?
Yeah.
I think I got to give you admin on this, or give you moderator. Hang on. Make host. Okay. Yeah. Here we go.
Share screen works.
Yep. Okay, cool. Now open up a web browser and go to one word, financialfreedommovement.com. Okay. It's a stupid name, but we're going to change the name to something else. So this isn't launched yet.
So this is actually one of my manager's computers. So, okay, say it again. What is it again?
Financialfreedommovement.com is one word.
.com, sorry.
And I want to hear your honest, raw feedback. So don't be afraid to be critical or whatever. Hit the play button.
All right. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
That's great. Oh,
Now-
that's awesome.
Now for the serious part. Yeah, so let this part play.
Okay. I love it.
And then it goes into some more fun stuff.
What was the question?
How much does the average American make in 1 year?
Oh, I'm so used to Mac.
Yeah.
Very cool. He's a great entertainer.
Yeah, isn't he so good? Yeah, you can
He
close that
actually,
out. Anyway, there's 300 scenes in here.
300?
Yeah, there's a whole map. I can show you what it looks like, the blueprint of it. But without me telling you what's going on here and how Jake Paul approached me for this program and all, what do you think of this? So, like, what do you think this is about?
Okay, yeah, great question. So,
No wrong answer. I just want to see what you think.
yeah, okay, so I get a mastermind vibe from it. It seems like it's a high-end mastermind or something to that effect. Do you know? Okay, so I just saw Dan Fleischman, and
Yep.
he has the Millionaire Mastermind, I think.
Yeah.
And
Dan was the one
and
who
it fe-
recommended Jake come to me.
okay, yeah. So it feels very much like that. So I just saw Dan, so I might have been biased a little bit there, Dennis, to be very just straight up. So sorry, but it definitely feels like a mastermind. It feels like so it feels like it's honest. From him, because he's not like he normally is, right? Like he's actually talking about like, I wish I had somebody that I could have watched or followed or I could have learned from. And the truth is I actually believe him. And I don't know if that's true or not, Dennis, but I do believe
it is. This is who Jake Paul really is. You see, when you have an actor who's really, really good, they make you believe that they are that character, right? Think of your favorite actor. And then in person, if you ever, they're not. So Jake Paul, so I've worked with him for a year on building this whole program.
Okay.
And this man is thoughtful. He's quiet. He's humble. He's very coachable. But then when the camera turns on, it's Jake Paul, right? And Jake Paul doing all sorts of inflammatory kinds of Jake Paul sorts of things. But when the camera's off, man, every minute he is busy. He's doing stuff. He's organized. He's serious. So we'll film for an hour. Then he'll go and work out for an hour and a half and come back. We'll film. Then his chef produces all this food in the kitchen, which is great. Then he comes back. We'll film some more. Then he has a session with his hypnotherapist. Then he comes back. Then there's some meeting he has. Then he comes back and we film some more. And then, so he is like, up. So you know how LeBron James he puts $1 million a year just into people that care for his body, right? Health and nutrition and mindset and cars and like, so Jake Paul is like that too. He's very serious. It's not just a crew of people that hang around him and he's just sitting by the pool doing stupid things. Like he is a serious businessman. And he told me when we first met that he wanted to leave a legacy of education and the things that he did to get to the point where he became well-known. He doesn't regret that, but he doesn't want that to be his legacy, being known for doing like Vine or dumb things on YouTube or things like that. Right. So if you look at what he's doing, he's a serious boxer. He's a serious, like his, Fanjoy, right? His merch for influencers, that's doing $100 million a year, right? He's got a bunch of companies. His boxing company's doing $100 million by arranging all these fights.
That's insane. How old is he? He's like 30, right? 29?
I think he's like 26, 27, something like
26, 27?
He just moved to Puerto Rico too.
Wow. Yeah, I have some buddies that moved to Puerto Rico and they said they lived near Jake Paul. And I was like, Jake Paul moved to Puerto Rico too?
Yeah, he's in Dorado, which is cool.
Okay. Yeah, very neat. That's awesome, man. Yeah. So it's funny. If you'd asked me if I would have ever taken any advertisement with Jake Paul in it serious a year ago, I would have said no. And then after I saw the Floyd fight, I was like, oh, this guy, you can actually take him a little serious, right? Like obviously there was, there's some controversy that went down with that fight, but you don't get in the ring with the best in the world and stand as long as you do without really practicing, right? Like it takes effort. It takes a lot of just incredible effort. And that's what he did. So like, it's pretty obvious. And nowadays, I think all business people have some kind of respect for him because it's like, all right, he's one of us. He's probably just better at it. You know what I mean?
He's better at marketing than we are.
Yeah. He's amazing.
So here's a couple things that you are one of the first people in the world to know because we've not launched it. This program you said is mastermind-like. It is made for young adults and the fee is $20 one time. No ongoing, no upsell, no, oh, here's this other thing for $1,000. It's $20. That's it.
Okay.
And it gives you access to all the training. There's a certification that's tied to it. And here's the other part too. So a lot of times, like you might, sign up for master class and learn how to cook from Gordon Ramsay or hit the tennis ball from Serena Williams or whatever. This is not just watching a bunch of private videos. This is if they go through the certification and learn how to create videos and do social media, because we have a whole legit curriculum on how to do it. I hand selected all the other people that are teaching in this program. Then we will give them clients. They don't have to cold call. They don't have to sell. We will give them clients because of like Tom Ferry.
You're gonna own their content. Is that what you're gonna do? That's really
here's the deal. So real estate agents, mortgage brokers, garage door, dentists, like chiropractors, these people suck at social media. They suck at communicating. Doctors are so bad at communicating. Yet, don't we believe that young adults are naturals with social media? They're like born with an iPhone coming out of the womb, right?
Yeah.
So we're taking advantage of the fact that everyone believes these young adults are, good at social media. They're on TikTok. In fact, they're so good at it. They're like not even paying attention to us at dinner and things like that. Phone is out, So we're equipping these young adults. They already know social media. Okay. But now we're equipping them to go into local businesses and shoot 9 videos with the owner, with that dentist, with that agent. And we have specific questions. So tell me, how did you get started in real estate? Give me a tour. Let's go check out this listing. What is it about getting seller leads versus buyer leads? How do you buy and sell a house at the same time? Is now a good time to buy a house in this market? What about interest rates? How do you, what's your favorite coffee shop? Oh, I like to go to this coffee shop because every morning and, blah, blah, blah. Or, I take my kids to the park over here because, we have this kind of dog, right?
Yeah.
So we're using the young adults to help these real estate agents and other service professionals become more comfortable on video, because we can't, for some reason, get these professionals to do the selfie style video. So we need someone else to kind of coach them. And so these kids make a couple $100s each time they do this. And we think of this as an Uber-esque kind of service, right? So you come in as a real estate agent, you hit basically like you summon an Uber, but you have a young adult that comes over and does this thing for you.
And that's a really cool, I love it. I love it. And we would absolutely use it. I'm terrible at social media. I get it, right? It's just content.
That's right.
But it's like, it's a job. We have a marketing team and we still suck at social media. So it's like,
because they're twice as old as what you need to be, because you have a bunch of people that are under 30 that are buying houses. Yeah. Right. You've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah. So our business is more actually, the business you pulled up, Josh DeShong Real Estate, that's actually our smallest piece of our business. That's our brokerage. Our business, Trelli Group. So we operate a distressed real estate marketplace. We have a business that acquires houses and puts those on that marketplace. And then we have our brokerage. The brokerage is actually where I started, but you're absolutely
that's what
right.
shows up. I do a search on you. All I see is you as the agent and the brokerage and the 10 agents that you have in there.
Yeah. That's the primary thing if you search my name. So I was the former #1 agent for Keller Williams in the world. And I've done 10,000 transactions as a broker, north of $3 billion in volume, which is it's pretty substantial. I was Wall Street Journal ranked and all that good stuff. That's where I started. I have a 10-year career, actually a 15-year career in the brokerage space. But actually that business is run and operated by a completely different team internally.
Well, then the timing's perfect.
Yeah.
Jeremy introduced us. I've known Jeremy for many years.
Yeah.
I trust his advice and the connections that he's made. And I'd love to talk about Trelli. Let's get together in Dallas. Let's talk about Trelli, talk about what's behind it. And what's the whole thing about, getting access to properties before they're listed? Is there some kind of catch? What does that mean in terms of today's crazy market where I had dinner 2 nights ago with Andrew Undum, who's the top producer in Maryland. And he told me that there are 1.6 million real estate agents, because every mom's a real estate agent. And there's only 600,000 properties.
Yep.
So how does that work,
Yeah. So, and what's beautiful, the space that we play in, Dennis, these houses usually don't make it to the MLS. So the space, in fact, everybody hears what's on Zillow, what's on the market, but that only represents like 60% of the market. 40% of it goes to investors and they flip the house and then it makes it to the market. And so the Trelli marketplace is for investors to find the house before it gets to another investor.
Yeah. So that's why the angle of real estate investing. Got it. Okay.
Right. So we think of real estate as an asset class, and we think it's becoming more and more popular. We have 21-year-olds here who own 4 and 5 rental properties.
Wow.
We think that that access to real estate will continue to expand. Liquidity will become even more achievable than it currently is. And really, we think what's happening with real estate as an investment vehicle is the same thing that happened to the stock market in the 80s within E-Trade.
Yeah.
Right. So
cash is trash. You got to park it somewhere.
Right. So, but there's no, Kelly Blue Book, and there's nothing there to help investors optimize return. And also, how do I know how much risk I'm taking on for that return?
Yeah.
Because risk and return must be properly sized. Right.
So there, if it's for rental properties and whatnot, then they also have to understand, like, when do you Airbnb it? How do you find the right, renters and, rental management companies or property management, like all that stuff, right?
Yeah. So that's a great point. And I wish I was on my computer. Let me see something real quick. As long as I'm not signed into his Facebook. All right.
Tim McDonough?
No. Oh, that name sounds super
in Dallas.
I feel like I do.
He had a big .com exit, and now he's a major commercial real estate, or he does multifamily.
Okay.
He owns a lot of I think they have to have at least 200 doors or something. I think his smallest property is 200 doors.
So
DFW Metroplex.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah. In the DFW Metroplex, he's doing really well, because we've had just unheard of appreciation in the last couple of years. Right. Yeah. But the name sounds super familiar, actually. I've been in the space here in Dallas for some time. We have offices in Dallas, Houston, and Tampa, and we're gearing up for national expansion.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man. So I'm curious, why'd you get out of tech?
Well, I still am in tech, kind of, because we're building a network that allows for supply and demand to come together. Kind of like you sort of have a network too. I mean, we're building, it's a marketplace.
Yeah, same thing.
I was burned out in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is kind of like LA, except for geeks, where everyone's judging you. And I want to do something that I feel really good about. And the thing that's meant the most to me is what Al Casey did for me 30 years ago, and taking me under his wing. And I thought, how do we do this at scale? Well, we need to do is create jobs because of what's happened, because, you could hate on the education system and all that kind of stuff, but really, education has to lead directly to work, kind of like an apprenticeship or a trade school. You go learn how to drive a truck, and then you have a trucking company, like whatever the thing is, like that's the way work should be. So why wouldn't that be the case, as it's always been with all the other professions?
Yeah.
The biggest issue that real estate and mortgage and dentists, like service professionals, their number one issue, especially because of what happened with COVID, is digital marketing. And so unfortunately, someone who's okay but has better marketing, do you think they're going to outperform someone who's really good but has crappy marketing?
Yeah, it's all about marketing.
It's a perfect storm, because these young adults, they understand social media on the consumer side, but they don't know how to behave professionally. They don't have the contracts that are written. They don't have all the structure. Like, we have everything structured to allow them to run their micro agencies.
They have no idea what CPM is. They have no idea what they should charge. None of that. Yeah.
And we have everything, the call tracking, and we make websites. We have an army of VAs in the Philippines that do all that kind of stuff. So the young adult is now basically a waiter, and the waiter has to know what's on the menu, right? And the customers can only order what's on the menu. They can't order, because once you go off the menu, then there's problems. And so the VAs they're cooks in the kitchen, and they're using all the tools, all the software. So we have cooks and waiters serving the customers based on the set menu. And our menu, it's like Chick-fil-A. There's like 2 things on it, right? The chicken sandwich with or without pickles or whatever. Like, that's it, right? Yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And so, there's certain people, if you want to go after the real estate world, I can definitely make some connections for you that can make your business kind of go viral in this space.
We have more demand than we know what to do with. Because
you already have it. You already have it.
We have Chris Scott, and Tom Ferry, and David Solomon, and Andrew Undum, and these other sorts.
Okay.
We got them.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah,
there you go.
Guy. I mean, we have all these guys. So I appreciate that. What I want to do is, so we're implementing at a very, very small scale, just like a couple dozen agents.
Just test.
Yeah, because I can't afford there to be any egg on Tom Ferry's face or Jason Pantana's face or my face. Yeah. And our constriction right now is quality young adults. that are trained. And we had an issue because the fallout rate in our training program is really high. So we got to make the training simpler. And we just have to, there's just too many. It's basically, you have to have a master's level in marketing to be able to execute the way our thing is set up right now. So we got to, we got to bring more. And plus we haven't launched the thing because it's too difficult. Okay. I thought it was easy, but I've been doing this for 30 years. But, we brought a bunch of these kids through and they get frustrated and then they quit, right?
They don't have the staying power. So it's funny. We've learned that when it comes to onboarding new staff, that we went out. So originally we built this learning management system that has everything you need to know about real estate and how do you size up risk and all these things. And what we found was it did nothing. And so what we did was we said, okay, your first year, what is minimally viable? Or your first whatever period. And that's how we've started doing it. And to be very honest, our training went from this robust, what could be a 4-week thing to it's like a 2-day training now to onboard somebody new. Yeah. And we don't teach them nearly what we thought we needed to. Yeah. And so that's what I would just look at. I mean, you're obviously a sharp guy, so I'm sure you already have, but
that's the problem. Is that I'm trying to train up someone up to my level, and other people are like, no. Yeah. What can they get done in a couple of days, 80-20, right? Not everything. We're not trying to get them to the level of teaching other people and speaking on stage and, that kind of thing.
So what if they don't do anything but post and they interview you and then they give you an idea for a good video? Like
we have scripts. They literally just have to say the words, and we have the scripts for the agents.
And they still won't follow any of that.
No, it's not because that part's hard. They're actually very good at that part.
Okay.
Where's
the breakdown?
There's two things that screw them up. Okay. One is a mindset, fear, sabotage, like, I'm going into this business and I don't know anything about real estate, or I don't know anything about what an eye doctor does and all those machines. So they just kind of, they've never had to, they've been used to like being in the military. They've been there for 4 years, or they're going through high school and everything's just exactly like this. But now you have to drive to the other side of town. And it's scary. Like, you're gonna have to pull out your phone. You're gonna have to guide that doctor through these particular questions. And it's just intimidating that you have to work with, because someone who could be basically your parents, you're now guiding them. And you're used to adults telling you what to do, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one. And the other part is that we're going to simplify this, but there's a bunch of other tools and processes that are necessary right now because we don't have it as a single platform. There's, we've got to do stuff inside Facebook, which, they're doing all the posting and there's software that does this kind of thing, but not the right way. We're coordinating with our virtual assistants in our assembly line thing. So, we get the inputs from the young adults, and then the VAs edit the videos and post them and use the templates and all that. But there's a lot of project management kind of coordination, working in teams. Okay. And we find most young adults have never worked in teams before. Maybe they did a group project in high school, but they don't know like how to be reliable, how to keep track of their email, how to make sure you show up on time, those things that you and I kind of take for granted, right? They don't.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So let me ask you this. So it sounds like you're doing a lot of managed service, right? Like what would happen if you just put a marketplace up and you pushed people to sign up, and as a part of signing up, like $20 sign up to make sure you're legit, that gets you, verification to know that you've posted. We know that you've posted on social media, and I'm just just spitballing here because I love problems, by the way. So
this is great. I love this. Thank you.
And so what if you just put it up and you actually try to achieve like a network effect, right? Rather than trying to go for the managed service, and then you add the managed service after you've achieved some sort of a network effect.
You know what? I think that might be the right way to do it, because the early adopters, the best of these young adults, they don't need that kind of supervision.